What if I told you right now that a highly dangerous toxin is hidden in your own kitchen? You trust it and see it every day. You very likely consumed it this morning for breakfast. These familiar things are not as harmless as they seem. They don't kill you instantly. They are crueler than that. Drop by drop, day after day, they silently eat away, oxidize, and destroy the most valuable and complex organ in your body, your brain. Hello, I'm Dr. Finn Fisher. In my 20-year career in neurology, what hurt me the most wasn't that there are incurable diseases, but seeing wonderful people, people full of memories, intelligence, and clarity, gradually fade away, only because of damage that could have been completely avoided. They come to me when it's already too late, when the mental fog has completely covered their mind. Today I've decided to break this silence, but I won't speak to you in difficult medical terms. I want to sit here in front of you like a friend and tell you the rawest truth. I will show you exactly which is the worst toxin that poisons your neurons without you knowing it. Stay with me. Why? Recognizing it now is not just knowledge. It is the only shield that can save your memory and your identity before the door of time closes. Thank you for giving me these minutes for your health. Let's begin right now, my friend. Your brain is a silent hero in the truest sense of the word. Imagine it as a talented orchestra conductor who coordinates every heartbeat, every thought, and preserves an entire lifetime of memories. But it works in absolute silence. And that is exactly the double-edged sword. When the heart gets tired, it hurts. When the stomach is weak, it burns. But when the brain begins to deteriorate, it gives us not a single signal. Neurodegeneration is like a silent thief in the night. It doesn't attack head-on. It slowly steals your clarity over many years. When you start noticing that you forget more, that it's hard to find words, that you feel confused, the damage is usually already deep, and sometimes it can no longer be reversed. In my practice, I have seen the fear in the eyes of so many patients when they receive a dementia diagnosis. The most painful question they always ask me is, "Doctor, why didn't I notice it earlier?" The answer lies in the silent toxins we live with every day without knowing it. Today, I'm here to change that. I want to give you back control. Together, we will unmask the list of the most dangerous enemies, from the most common to the most devastating. Join me, because what you are about to discover is not just information. It is the map to protect your dignity and your memory in the years to come. Before we explore this list, we must understand something very important. The older we get, the more vulnerable we become to these toxins. Age simply changes the rules of the game. Just as hair turns gray and eyesight weakens, the brain also ages with the years. Imagine it like the engine of a classic car that has faithfully run for 60 or 70 years. It still runs. It is still valuable, but it can no longer handle bad fuel the way it did at 20. The problem is this: often, without realizing it, we fill this precious engine with toxins and force it every day to climb a steep hill. These damages don't happen from one day to the next. They are the accumulation of thousands of micro-lesions over decades. And this silent wear is the direct path into the shadows called Alzheimer's or dementia. In addition, at this age we usually face three more enemies: high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol. I call them the three hammers that constantly strike the delicate vascular network of the brain. Anything that gives them more power is a direct attack on your mind. To help you defend yourself, I have distilled a list of the 4 most dangerous destroyers. We start with a strange one, something that is neither food nor drink, and continue to number 1, a true wolf in sheep's clothing. The most common, the most addictive, and the most destructive. Let's begin right now. Toxin number 4, sedentary lifestyle. The 4th enemy on this list is a master of disguise. It's not on your plate. It doesn't hide in your glass. It's not something you consume. It's something you don't do. I'm talking about inactivity. Maybe you're wondering, "Doctor, if I just sit, what does that have to do with my brain?" The answer is, everything. Imagine your brain as a giant hanging garden. Even though it makes up only 2% of your body weight, it consumes up to 20% of the oxygen and energy you produce. For this garden to stay green and alive, it needs a strong, constant irrigation system. Your blood vessels are this river of life. When you walk, when you move, your heart beats powerfully and pushes a stream of flowing, oxygen-rich blood. This clean flow washes away waste and nourishes every nerve cell. But when you sit for hours on the couch, this flow begins to slow down, slower and slower, until it becomes a stagnant pond. And you know what happens in a pond? Sludge accumulates, oxygen disappears, and the environment becomes toxic. That is the moment when the doors to the worst enemies open: obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes. But the most painful loss occurs with an extraordinary substance called BDNF. I call it the elixir of the brain. It acts like a premium fertilizer that helps new neurons form, strengthens nerve connections, and protects your memory. Every step you take releases a dose of this elixir. In contrast, inactivity closes the valve that releases BDNF. The result is a brain that begins to wither, and an Alzheimer's risk that shoots up by up to 50%. So what is the solution? Don't worry, you don't have to become an Olympic athlete tomorrow. The solution is within your reach. Break the silence. If you have to sit for long periods, set an alarm every hour. It's enough to stand up, stretch, and pour yourself a glass of water. This small gesture is enough to reactivate blood flow to the brain. After that, invite your legs for a walk. You don't have to run a marathon. Start with 10 minutes walking in your neighborhood. Next week, increase to 15. The secret lies in consistency, not intensity. Walking is the best natural tranquilizer. It controls glucose, reduces stress, and fills the mind with oxygen. Even if movement is difficult for you, you can train from a chair. Lift your arms, circle your ankles, do knee bends and stretches. Remember this sentence: every movement is better than staying still. Every step you take is a ray of fresh water that waters your mental garden. Stand up and let the river of life flow again. Toxin number 3, alcohol. My friend, the third toxin on this list is one of the most dangerous in the art of disguise. It is present at every celebration. It shines elegantly in crystal glasses and is welcomed with bright smiles. I'm talking about alcohol. Millions of people keep repeating a sentence like a lullaby. A glass of red wine is good for the heart. But today I want you to see it from a different perspective, a real and more scientific one. And I must say it clearly: it is a sweet deception. The truth is, alcohol is a direct neurotoxin. When you drink it, it doesn't just go into your stomach. It crosses the body's best protected barrier, the blood-brain barrier, as easily as if it didn't exist. And once inside, destruction begins. First, it literally shrinks your brain. Alcohol kills neurons faster than your body can regenerate them. Second, it attacks the hippocampus head-on, the treasure chest where you store all your most precious memories. Third, and most cruelly, it extinguishes the fire that produces BDNF, the brain fertilizer we talked about earlier. Every glass you drink to relax actually ignites an inflammatory fire that spreads across your entire brain. The studies are clear. Even moderate but frequent drinking significantly accelerates the path to dementia. So what is the solution? Start with an honest question. Do I really need this toxin to be happy or relaxed? If the answer is yes, that is a warning signal. Seek peace in meditation, in walks, or in healthy hobbies. If you still want to drink, make alcohol a rare guest. Don't let it in every day or every week. Keep it only for special occasions and in small amounts. My golden rule is, there is no absolutely safe dose for an aging brain. Every drop has its price. If you can live without alcohol, your brain will thank you every morning with the most wonderful clarity. Toxin number 2, sleep deprivation. Now let's move on to the second toxin. This is perhaps the most underestimated enemy, but also the cruelest for our brain: sleep deprivation. In my practice, I hear many patients proudly say, "Doctor, I only need 5 or 6 hours of sleep. I feel fine, my friend." This is a dangerous misconception. Feeling fine does not mean your brain is safe. Imagine your brain as a pulsing city. All day long, you work without pause to control every thought and every movement. This continuous effort produces an enormous amount of metabolic waste, toxins that accumulate in the gaps between nerve cells. So when is this city cleaned? Only while you sleep. When you enter deep sleep, an extraordinary cleaning system activates, the so-called glymphatic system. The spaces in the brain expand, and cerebrospinal fluid flows like a rushing river, washing all the garbage away. Among this waste, there are two particularly dangerous enemies: beta amyloid and tau protein. These are the plugs that cause Alzheimer's. If you shorten your sleep hours, the cleaning crew cannot finish its work. The waste accumulates day after day, year after year. It crystallizes into toxins that silently suffocate neurons and throw the doors to dementia wide open. In addition, sleep is the moment when the brain builds the house of memory. If you don't get enough sleep, the precious memories from this morning will never be permanently stored. So what is the solution? I ask you to make sleep a sacred ritual. Sleep is not a luxury and not a waste of time. It is the foundation of life, as essential as breathing. I want you to follow this. First, 7 to 9 hours every night. You cannot compensate for lost sleep on the weekend because yesterday's damage has already happened. Second, regularity. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on free days. Your brain loves the consistency of the circadian rhythm. Third, create a sanctuary. Turn your bedroom into a quiet, dark, cool, and silent cave. Fourth, limit the digital. Turn off all screens at least 1 hour before bedtime. Don't let blue light steal your sleep hormone. Fifth, pay attention to what you consume. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. And remember, alcohol may help you fall asleep quickly, but it destroys the quality of deep sleep. And finally, if you snore loudly or feel constantly tired, see a doctor. Sleep apnea means your brain is being suffocated by lack of oxygen hundreds of times every night. Give your brain the rest it deserves. Because when you sleep, your mind is reborn. We have come a long way and identified the enemies of the brain: inactivity, alcohol, and sleep deprivation. All of them are frightening. But now I want you to take a deep breath and listen carefully, because the enemy I am about to name is the true toxin number one. It is the undisputed champion of silent destruction. It is the most addictive. It is present in every corner of your kitchen. And the most painful thing is that it is responsible for the most devastating damage to your memory. I'm talking about the inseparable duo of sugar and refined flour. Yes, this sweet white powder, the cookies, the soda, the slices of white bread, and the plate of pasta you eat every day. In my 20 years of work, I can assure you that this pair is the reason dementia has become a silent epidemic in modern society. Why am I so categorical? Because sugar and refined flour don't attack you with a single blow. They launch a total offensive from 5 fronts against your brain. First attack, brain hunger. When you eat sugar, you create a massive wave of glucose in your blood. When this repeats every day, your body becomes insulin resistant. And tragically, so does your brain. The neurons become insensitive, close their doors, and refuse energy. Even though your blood is flooded with sugar, your brain starves. That's why scientists call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. People with diabetes have twice the risk of developing dementia. Second attack, the inflammatory fire. Sugar is fuel for inflammation. Every spoonful you consume is like stoking a chronic flame in the brain. This fire burns neurons and tears the threads that connect them. It is one of the main drivers of accelerated brain aging. Third attack, cutting off the life supply. Sugar destroys the inner layer of blood vessels, causes atherosclerosis and high blood pressure. When the highways that bring blood to the brain narrow or become blocked, neurons die suffocated by lack of oxygen. The result is vascular dementia, a slow death of the mind. The fourth attack, caramelization of the brain. This is a frightening image, but real. When there is too much sugar in the blood, it sticks firmly to the proteins in the brain and creates a process called glycation. Imagine melting sugar in a hot pan. It becomes sticky and hard. Exactly that happens in your head. The proteins caramelize, deform, and form beta-amyloid plaques, the hallmark of Alzheimer's. And the final attack, destroying regeneration. Sugar annihilates BDNF, the wonderful fertilizer that helps the brain repair itself and form new cells. Without BDNF, the brain loses the ability to learn and form new memories. My friend, every time you reject a cookie, you are not going on a diet to keep your figure. You are protecting your own identity and your memories from these 5 devastating attacks. I know this overall picture may have unsettled you. It is a total and brutal attack, but I have wonderful news for you. Your brain possesses an extraordinary regenerative capacity. It is like fertile land that is simply waiting for you to stop spraying it with toxins so it can bloom again. The solution lies in your hands. Let's take back control with 5 strategic steps. Step 1. Educate yourself well about foods before you consume them. Sugar is a master of deception. It hides under names that sound scientific, like fructose, dextrose, maltose, or corn syrup. When you pick up a food package, read the label. Don't let these elegant names fool you. Step 2. Limit toxic drinks. Sodas and packaged juices are not water. They are pure liquid sugar. One can contain up to 10 teaspoons of sugar that go straight into your blood like an injection. Replace them with water. Water with fresh lemon or herbal tea. This is one of the strongest rescue actions you can take today. Step 3. Beware of the low-fat trap. Don't trust industrial low-fat products. When they remove the fat, they often fill the food with sugar to balance the taste. Choose the real thing, a natural Greek yogurt with some fresh berries. That is real nutrition. Step 4. Use healthy fats. Did you know that your brain is 60% fat? It needs it, but it must be high-quality fat. Be generous with olive oil, avocado, nuts, and fatty fish. They are soft armor that protects every nerve cell. Step 5. Choose foods that are good for the body. Prioritize real foods that grow from the earth or swim in the water, not those that come from a factory. When your plate is full of vegetables, fresh fish, clean meat, and vibrant fruits, sugar and refined flour simply won't have room. Breaking the chains of sugar is not penance. It is the bravest act of defense for your mind. We have traveled a long road together today. We have unmasked 4 silent enemies, from inactivity that dries up the BDNF flow, to alcohol, the neurotoxin that shrinks the brain, to the devastating price of sleep deprivation when the nightly cleaning system collapses. And finally, we faced the most brutal enemy, sugar and refined flour, the duo that launches a total offensive against every neuron. I know that when you see the whole picture, you can feel overwhelmed, even anxious. But my goal today is not to see fear. My only purpose is to give you power. You must embrace the truth, even if it hurts. The only torch that can light the way to wiser decisions. Take this to heart. Dementia or Alzheimer's is not an inevitable fate, not a card of chance. The control lies in your hands at this very moment. I am not asking you to change your life in one night. That would be impossible and unsustainable. I only want one small step today and another tomorrow. Every time you reject a spoonful of sugar, every time you walk a little more, that is a victory. It is proof that you love yourself. Science gives us a hopeful number. People who maintain a healthy lifestyle can reduce their dementia risk by up to 70%. 70%. That means most memory tragedies can be prevented. You have the power to rewrite the story of your life. Because the mind is not just an organ, it is the most precious treasure you possess. Preserve the smiles of the people you love, the lessons of your life, your identity. It is the ability to love and be loved. Don't let it fade. If this video has woken you up, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Send it to your children, your partner, a dear friend. One small click from you can be the lifeline that helps someone preserve their memories. And if you want to continue this journey with me, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell. I will always be here to offer you truths without sugar, but full of courage. Finally, I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below. What surprised you the most in today's video? And which habit will be the first one you change starting today? I will take the time to read your words so we can build a strong community together. Thank you for dedicating a moment of your life to the most important thing, your health. Your brain has worked tirelessly for you every second. Answer it with gratitude and conscious decisions. I am Dr. Finn Fisher. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you a long, healthy life and a clear, awake mind until your last day. Goodbye, and see you soon.